Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So I realized that I have not done a real recap sort of episode very recently. So this episode I just want to recap all the calculation stuff that we've been going over in the last 10 episodes or so. So there are basically just a few ways that the user can force a calculation on our app. The first is when he changes one of these order edit texts. So when he changes these numbers, something's got to happen to the rest of the stuff. So let's look at what happens. When he changes those, it triggers onFocus change. OnFocus change checks if it was 10% that was changed, which is this thing here. It also, if it's not, it goes down to check if it's tax dollar, which is this. And finally, if it's not either of those, it goes through every single diner and sees if it's the name that was changed. If it's not the name that was changed, it goes through every single order inside every single diner and sees if it was one of those orders that was changed. And in this case it was. So what happens when the order changes? Well, we call the update total method of the diner class, and that method basically calculates the total, which is a double variable that is just a number that holds all of the orders put together. It does not include tax and it does not include tip. Once we've calculated the new total for that diner, we go ahead and run calculate grand total. And that runs this code over here. This code gets the grand total by summing every single total of all the diners. So that's good because we just updated the total for this new diner, and grand total will now take that into account. And then grand total then our app uses grand total and tip percent value to get total tip. After that, it sets the tip dollar based on the new number from grand total. And then we get tax percent value from tax divided by the new grand total. And then it uses uses the tip percent value and the tax percent value, and it goes through every single diner and uses this method, set total text. And set total text, all it does is it sets the text down here using the new total that we just changed not too long ago up here. Along with all this other stuff. We use the total times 1 plus the tip, and we add the total times the tax, which we passed in calc grand total. So that's one way that the user can force a calculation. Another way is for him to edit the tip percent box right here. Or actually, let's go over this first. Another way for them to force a calculation is to slide the tip slider. Whenever he does that, it triggers onProgress changed. Whenever this is triggered, we set the tip percent value to whatever it was changed to, and then we set the text for tip percent, which is this, so you can see it's changing there. And then we set the tip percent value back to itself divided by 100, so we have a percentage instead of a whole number. And then we use calc grand total. So calc grand total calculates the grand total again. This is not going to be different from whatever grand total is before, mostly because we did not change any order edit text. What will be different is that total tip will now be grand total times the new tip percent value. And then this new tip percent value eventually gets used in the set total text for every diner. And that's why, if you look down there, the stuff down here changes when you change the tip, because we're using a new tip percent value that got created with onProgress changed. Okay, another way is for them to actually just click on this and change the tip directly using the input. So what happens here? Big tip. Okay, so what happens here is that triggers onFocus change. OnFocus change sets the tip percent value equal to whatever the user just changed it to, and then it uses the setProgress function to basically go ahead and trigger onProgress change. And once we get to there, it just does whatever I just said it did for when you use the slider. Okay, finally, the last way for the user to trigger a calculation is to change the tax here. So when they change the tax and click out of it, he triggers onFocus change for this block right here, which is the one that deals with tax. This one sets the tax equal to whatever the user changed it to, and then it formats that text, that edit text, and then it calculates rand total. And rand total will go and do what it always does. This time, the thing that's different is that when we get to tax percent value, the tax will be different. So tax divided by grand total will be different. And then when we get to set total text, we'll have a different tax percent value here. And that's why when you change the tax value, everything down here all changes. Okay, so that was just a quick run of all of the calculation that happens in our tip calculator. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say for this video. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.